Good afternoon. My name is Angel Bediako, and it is the fifth day of the Church of Pentecost National Youth Conference 2015. Here with me, we have the wonderful Apostle Eric Nyamekye, who is an Executive Council member and youth patron for the Church of Pentecost. Thank you so much, Apostle, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure, and thank you so much for accepting this invite to be interviewed.
Okay.
First and foremost, I just would like to ask, could you tell us a bit about yourself?
My name is Eric Nyamekye, as you have rightly said. I've been in ministry for 24 years now.
How?
I'm married with children. I live in Tamale in Ghana.
Right.
And I'm a member of the Executive Council of the Church of Pentecost.
Perfect. Thank you. Moving on to the next question. You've been with us here for the last 5 days, blessing us with the word of God at the mainstream services. What have you seen that has sort of changed over the past 5 days since you've been here?
When I got in here on the first day, when I saw the numbers, I told myself that the Church of Pentecost in UK has a great future.
Wow.
And ever since I've been ministering now, I've been convincing myself that we have a good church and that if we are able to impart these young ones, we are sure that we're going to build a very strong church in future.
Wow.
Yeah.
Perfect. And also, Apostle, I've realized that you have a unique way of relating to the youth. What is so special about young people to you?
For me, I always think that when I was like them, I believed in myself. And so I also believe in young people. And so anywhere that I find them, I want to relate with them. And then try to impart them in any way, any little way, no matter the space. Even if it's a second, I want to impart the youth.
That's awesome. Even in a second.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love it. Apostle, is it challenging influencing change for the youth at an executive level?
That is why some of us are on the Executive Council. Now, when you are a youth patron or you a leader of any of the wings, the ministries of the church, you are expected to represent them at the Executive Council. You speak for them, and you bring their issues on board. And you should be able to convince the Executive Council of what you are saying on their behalf. And so for me, I think I've been a good advocate for the youth on the council.
You have indeed.
Yeah.
God bless you, Apostle. Also, Apostle, as an apostle, you have traveled across the world on various assignments for God and formerly head of South Africa.
Yes.
If you could describe the youth ministry in 3 words, what will it be?
Youth ministry.
Yes.
The future of the Church of Pentecost.
Yeah.
The strength of the church. And the challenge of the church.
The strength of the church and the challenge
of the church and the future of the church.
And the future of the church.
Yeah.
Wow. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, we look at it as a challenge of the church. So we spend more time, give them more space, work well on them. The future of the church, so that we try to impact them. Yeah, the strength of the church. So we also try to empower them, so that we release them into ministry. Once they are involved, the church is strong. So that is why we look at the youth.
Okay. Apostle, we want to get to know you a little more intimately, if you don't mind. There will be many watching this interview thinking, Apostle, missionary, father, and husband. How do you manage all of these?
All of these. We do that by the wisdom of God. There's one thing that I particularly cherish, wisdom. I pray for wisdom almost every day. The wisdom is the ability to manage one's affairs. So that with wisdom, you're able to live as an apostle, minister of the church. You're able to be a good father, a good husband, and then be able to manage your life. Without that, you can just, your life will be tilted to one angle and the others will suffer. And so any spare time that I have with my family, I make sure that they feel my presence. Yeah, if I go home now, my boys, some of them are big boys,
Yeah.
but they all come around me.
Wow.
Sometimes I'll be crawling on the floor, and then some of the little ones will be sitting at my back, and then I'll be enjoying them because I know that they have lost me for these weeks. And when I go by, I try to make up. And when I have the space to travel with my wife, I do that. And so that I don't leave her alone in the house. Know that, yeah.
You said something. You said it's wisdom. So I know, for example, in the youth ministry, there are loads of youth workers who have so much on their plate, just trying to make the youth ministry a beautiful one. How would you advise youth workers to manage all their responsibilities as well as serving God?
Yeah, you have to organize your life around balanced priorities.
Okay.
Yeah, so that you look at what you are doing first as an individual, and then you bring the youth in the youth ministry you are supporting.
Okay.
So you look at the vocation that you have, you spend much time on it, and then you also support. You don't take the youth ministry to a level where your own job suffers. And so it should be a supportive role. So anyone that can help you so that you don't exert too much energy at the detriment of who you are, you need to bring such hands on board.
A balance.
Yeah.
Okay. Apostle, looking back on your life experiences, what would you say is the greatest thing you've learned?
In life?
Yes.
The greatest thing I've learned. The greatest thing I've learned is to be humble, because I used to be very zealous, and the leaders that I worked under, some of them saw me as proud, and so I suffered a bit under some leaders. So I told myself that no, I have to calm down, be very, very respectful, and then when I tried doing that, I realized that things became easier for me. Many of them tend to love me and to encourage me than when I was zealous and look a bit arrogant.
Right.
Yeah. So I've learned that in life, what I need is humility. I always pray about that and try to make sure that I live as low as possible.
Humility. Perfect. Apostle, thinking back to your youth, do you think the challenges then are similar or different to what we face in our generation?
So far as you are saying our generation means that it's different. Every generation poses its own challenges. Yeah, so our time is different from now.
Okay.
But it's also only different because it is shaped in another form.
Okay.
Otherwise, it is the same thing. There's nothing new under the sun. Yeah, and the things that we see, they keep reoccurring. When we were boys, we used to wear very tight trousers.
Yeah.
And now I've seen that it's coming up again.
It hasn't.
Yeah. And so it is different, but it's almost like it's being repackaged. Yeah, but it's the same stuff.
Same stuff.
Yeah, same stuff in another form. What is much, much different is the information that you have now.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't have that much information, and the world was not that small like our time. We used to write letters, but today it's different. That is the major difference between what is happening now and our time. Yeah.
Okay. Well said, Apostle. Thank you. I find this next question quite phenomenal, so I would love to know your opinion about it. What do you see as an unfinished task which we need to handle or complete since the baton has been passed in our current generation?
Unfinished task is the Great Commission. You see, as long as human beings are being born onto the earth, we label them as sinners, and they are. And so that task will never be finished until Jesus comes. So every generation should look for the best way to continue with the Great Commission.
Okay.
It is an unfinished task. Paul and the rest did their best, and some people had to continue even up to now.
The Great Commission.
The Great Commission.
The Great
yeah.
Commission. Thank you. Thank you. Apostle, what words of wisdom can you give us? I mean, we have the rest of today and tomorrow to end this awesome conference. How do we maintain the fire just for these few days?
Yeah, the fire is always in your hands, and now you must learn to keep it. Even ordinary fire, if you don't learn to keep it, it will die off. Yeah, so the fire that God is ignited in your spirit, as we go home, young people have to learn to keep the fire, fan it into flame. Now try to get the ashes. The ashes will be the achievement, the great things you have done in the past. If you leave them in the fire, they have the potential even to kill the fire. So you always have to just even put yesterday's behind and look for freshness, fresh firewood in the fire. And I tell you, you'll be fresh daily.
You'll be fresh. And lastly, Apostle, you've spoken a lot this week about abilities and, you know, that they differ, but success is for all.
Yes.
What would your last statement be for young people who are trying to find out exactly what their abilities are and use them to God's glory?
Yeah, finding out what your abilities are. Sometimes it's a bit difficult, but I hope that they listen to me closely.
Yes.
So by this time, I'm sure the Holy Spirit is opening up certain things to them. And your ability is where your strength is. Yeah, so I would think that you have to work so much on your strength, what you love doing, and the grace that you have. And as you do that, these abilities will show off. I said that they grow in knowledge. So as you even go to school, from primary, secondary, tertiary, it will be more clearer. You'll be seeing your abilities clearer and clearer as you grow and grow in knowledge.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Apostle, for having us. And we're so privileged to have Apostle Nyamekye here with us at the National Youth Conference. And we bless God for his life. Thank you once again, Apostle. And bye. That's bye for us.
Thank you.